Welcome guests. Glad to have you here today. My story is about, and it affects probably everybody in this room, married people, people in serious relationships. We all know the nuances, the fights, the battles, the good things, the bad things, and how we survive our situations. Today, my story is about a man named Uncle Bob. In the state of Minnesota, Lake Minnetonka. Minnetonka is many lakes, all intertwined by channels. Best place to go fishing if you ever want to go fishing. If you don't like this spot, drive a couple miles and you got a channel over here. If you don't like that spot, there's many places. Back in the 80s, I was a long time ago, a young redhead boy that knew everything. My motto was, you can't touch that, and I'm not a good singer. I knew everything. Well, little did I know, my mom was going to bring me to meet Uncle Bob because I was such a pain in the you-know-what. And here I was going to see Bob to get straightened out. So here we are. My mom says, we're going fishing. Oh, I like that. You're going fishing all summer. Great, I can get into this. The end of the day, Mom dropped me out and says, there's Uncle Bob, go talk to him. Have fun. I'm like, Bob, he's an old guy, he ain't nothing. I ain't got nothing on me. I can't handle him. So I go over there and say, hey, Uncle Bob, what's up? You got something to eat? I'm hungry. Some water? What's the smell? What are those people cooking over there? Why are they talking so funny? What's the language? I could see the look in the eye of Uncle Bob there. He was getting frustrated real quick with me. Told me, boy, sit down. Right there on that bucket. That's your stool. Sit down, shut up, and I don't want to hear a word out of you for the next 5 minutes. Uncle Bob, straight man out. Nah, he ain't nothing. So, after some time I went by, he had me baiting his hook. He had a bamboo pole. I said, Uncle Bob, why you got an old wooden bamboo pole? Do you know how old that is? Those people over there, they're making that stinky food. They got the fancy stuff. And they're reeling them in. You got this bamboo pole and you ain't getting nothing. Let's try it that way. No, sit down and shut up. Okay, Uncle Bob. So, before I knew it, Uncle Bob had me putting a worm on his hook, or, baiting his hook. And then, somehow or another, he got me to try the old bamboo pole. My God, they work. They actually work. Not quite as fancy as the modern day stuff, but they work. And I got lots of fish. Then Uncle Bob, on his training program for me, told me, you're coming home, you're going to sweep the floor. I ain't going to sweep no floor for you. Well, Uncle Bob won. He had me sweeping the floor. Taught me how to cook, how to fillet fish, how to do everything in the house. So that one day we were out there, and there was I think they were Vietnamese. They were the ones that were always loud. And I don't mean any pun or any misdirection on this, but when you're young, you don't know things in life. And they're cooking whatever they were cooking, and boy, did they stink. So one day Uncle Bob said, I brought you some extra cookies. You see that little girl over there? I seen you looking at her. Go get her those cookies. Why, Uncle Bob? What? I don't want to go buy that stuff that stinks. So I brought it over there. The next thing I know, I gave her the cookies because Uncle Bob said so. We became best of friends, and I spent the whole rest of the summer talking to her. So that's the beginning with Uncle Bob. Life went on. I grew up. I joined the U.S. Air Force. I was stationed in Brooks Air Force Base, San Antonio. And I got a phone call that said, you need to come back to Minnesota right away. Uncle Bob's in the hospital. So I returned back to Minnesota, remembering all the good times I had with him. And it was hard to look at him. He said, boy, you need to sit down. Yes, sir. So he told me a story. I'm going to tell you a story, and you listen very carefully. You're young. You're going to get married. I don't want you to make the same mistakes I made. He said, when I was your age, I married a girl. I fell in love. We had 2 kids, and at the time he was in the military also. He got orders back to the States. Life was good. Then all of a sudden, there's one part I didn't tell you though. He married somebody from overseas, and the family culture was bringing mom and the family over. And Uncle Bob didn't know that right away. So first it was mom that come over, about a year later. And then a couple sisters, then a couple brothers. And Bob said, I did it because it's my wife. I have to support my wife. I love her. Time went by. Mom was getting on his nerves. The sister-in-laws were breaking everything in the house. He felt like a handyman. His wife was always over there with him. Bob said, I love that woman, but she don't love me no more. She's always with mom, sisters, brothers, everybody else but me. So one day, Bob said, you know what? I couldn't take it no more. I moved out. 3 months later, it worked out that Bob came back home. And they tried again. Much to Bob's surprise, about a year and a half later, they all moved out. Hallelujah! He was so happy. No more mom, no more brother-in-law, no more sister-in-law, nobody to follow around and fix up and fix things. He was so excited. And especially, he used to have his wife and time with his wife at last. Part of a marriage is the relationship. Leave it at that. It's an important part of a marriage. So Bob said, I was still in for a surprise. They all moved out. Yeah, I remember, I was happy. But his wife was on the phone. Always on the phone talking to him. They were always showing up. So they did move out technically, but they were still around them. So about that time, Uncle Bob said, you know, I couldn't take it no more. I love her, but there's no love. She only loves her family. So he met a young lady, fell in love with her, and he told me the passion was insane. The love, the excitement, the rush. He hadn't experienced it in years. So he decided that maybe it's time to leave all this behind. 30 years of marriage, done. I'll follow this woman because she makes me happy. All the feelings are back. It's been how long? So he planned on a divorce. It was that close to his divorce. It ended up that Uncle Bob said he broke up with this girl. He found her messing around with somebody. So here's Uncle Bob, that close to losing a 30-year marriage. He didn't get divorced. And he said, don't do what I do. You may have reasons for what you do. It's your decision. Don't let anybody else judge you. You're the one that makes your decision with your heart. And I'll never question you, whatever you do in your life. So off I went. I parted ways. And I told him, thank you for this story. It was a wonderful story. Went back to the Air Force base I was assigned to. And the moral of this story is love is a strange and powerful thing. For you men, take your woman seriously. Start young, work at it, be with it. For you women, love your man. Not just love him with, here's some food. Here's the dog. But have time for each other. Don't let it destroy your marriage like Uncle Bob. Thank you, fellow Toastmasters.
So Scott, I thought that was a wonderful speech. It felt very personal. One of the first questions is, what emotions did I experience as people told the story? What I experienced was, I went back in my time, from when I was a little punk. And I think we all did have that moment where you had that that person sort of set you straight. I mean, because you weren't set straight at some level, you wouldn't be here right now. So I think that really at least brought back in my mind that little history. So I loved it. I thought it was a very personal story. It definitely touched home. I just really enjoyed it. So touched home in the second half as well. We're talking about, thinking about going outside. Because I at least for me, I'm assuming it's not just me. We've all thought about it. What would life have been like if I'd gone with this person instead of this person? But then, I think as you said in your story, you made the right choice by staying. So that was real cool. Second question, how the speaker used dialogue to evoke emotion. I didn't really think he used a ton of dialogue with you and Uncle Bob, but I don't think it needed it either. It was a good story without it. Did the story contain the basic elements of setting character, plot, conflict, and action, if not more missing? Yeah, I thought there was great conflict with the family, conflict with Uncle Bob, or the mom originally, like having to go to Uncle Bob. I thought it was very, very well developed. Again, very much enjoyed it. Characters, yes, of course characters will develop. We had you and Uncle Bob. I don't think anyone's unclear that the characters were developed. That was very good. Story point was clear. Don't be a schmuck, and stay with the wife you married because she's awesome. So, did the speaker build to a powerful climax? Yeah. I think your climax was long, which was good. I was about going back with Uncle Bob and seeing him at his end. And just that last final story, I think that was really, really good. The one point of improvement I have is you did a lot of pacing. So just working on pacing. If you're gonna maybe use blocking, do it with purpose. Because you did a lot of going back, going forward, going back. So yeah, again, it's old school. Like we've tried to teach here sometimes. With the blocking, it's if Uncle Bob, you'll have Uncle Bob's right here. So there's Uncle Bob's spot. And like, hey, this is your spot. This is Mom's spot. Like whatever it is, just sort of block it better because it just makes a good speech. Thank you.